With Ms.V. Monday night. If it's all night, it's all right. Come on in the building. Let's chat about it. Yeah, living in America. That's the topic tonight. But I bet you y'all don't know who I'm going to talk about. Get on in the building. I'll tell you all about it. Black history. We back at it. A lot of black folks made history and during our times, and I think it's relative that we have a little discussion about them tonight. We know about all the ones in the history books, but let's talk about some of these people that came up along. We grew up with, or we knew them performing on stage, or celebrities, or inventors, whatever. Yeah, Mister's here. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mister? How you liking this weather, this Houston weather? Man, it's changing every 5 minutes. When I left work, it was so cold. I got off the bus and left my coat on the bus, and Miss Diane came in with the coat, and I was very thankful. Yes, I was. Even though I was dressed to impress, the weather, was kind of cool this morning, but not real cool like it got this evening. What's up, sunshine? Hey, what's shaking, baby? Let a few of y'all come on in the building. Let me holler at you. Yeah, Miss Joy's here too. I appreciate y'all coming in tonight. Living in America. Yeah, can y'all imagine who that would be? All of us. All of us live in America, don't we? But it's a particular person that I'm going to talk about. And then y'all going to understand why I chose that topic. I had a hard time. I had many topics I could choose from to talk about, but I wanted it to be like, I don't want them to get it right away. I want to just put it out there and see if they know who I'm talking about. To just, what's shaking, what's shaking? Good evening, Queen. I drop whatever I'm doing when I see your notification. What you say? Go on in, Queen. The Queen's all the way in Canada and say she drop everything. Just shut it down, okay? Kind of like the Southwest Freeway shut down yesterday. Go on to just, I ain't mad at you, baby. But I ain't going to be on here all night because I done started a brand new week. And it's going to be a rough week here, baby. They got me with more assignments down there. Woo, I just don't know. Today I worked 11 and a half hours on a job that's supposed to be 6 hours. Folks don't want to come to work. Every day it's getting worse and worse. When they get their little income tax money, they ain't gonna come. And then, we're gonna be out for a whole week at Easter. They ain't coming right back. They don't cooperate down there. And then the ones that's there have to pick up the slack for the ones who's not there. But I said I ain't gonna complain. I'm gonna make all the money. Y'all don't want it, I'm gonna make it. Because come May, we're gone for 3 months. We will get our May check in June. The July check and the August check will be basic pay. So it ain't going to be about nothing. But mine going to look real good going all the way into June. Hey, what's up, Thelma? My girl, welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Never seen you over here before. I missed somebody. How are your children at school? Children doing good. They really are. I feel like I have really accomplished my goals. They can buckle themselves for the most part. I have maybe two, and they may never buckle themselves, and that's okay. But at least they put forth an effort. They will go behind them and pull the strap. That's a start. Sooner or later, they might bring it across and buckle. And we bonded. One of my little boys are already making plans for me this summer. He told me the other day we going go-kart riding. We going to the laser room. He got plans for me. I told him I'm having surgery on my knee, baby. I ain't going to be able to do all that right away. Now, either we going to do it before the surgery or you going to have to wait until further over in the summer. He just looked at me like, whatever, that's what you think. Yeah. So y'all will meet him this summer because he done already made plans. Hey, Charlene, how you doing? Good evening and blessings to you on this Monday evening. Thank you. I use all the blessings I can get. I don't turn down no blessings now. Charlene, that's what she said. The doorbell. Ring it. That's what she said. What's up, Audrey? Hey, Ms.V in chat. Ms.V, did you ever find where the fire was at your apartment? It wasn't a fire. It was a pipe that had, I guess, corroded or burst. That's what it was. But it set off the fire alarms, Audrey, at 2 o'clock in the morning. And they sent out a notice that they had fixed everything and got everything working. But it took me a while to catch up on my sleep because that was 2 hours earlier than I normally would wake up. So this weekend, I got my sleep in. Yes, indeed. I feel relaxed and renewed, and I need it for this week. This week and next week are going to be hell or pay the captain down there at the schoolhouse. All the state work, paperwork got to be turned in. We stayed over this evening until 6 o'clock, finishing up the state paperwork. So we wouldn't have to be trying to do that because Diane going to be out Wednesday. She having surgery. Then she's going to be out again on the 28th with another surgery on her leg. So all of that's going to fall on me. What she would normally do with the paperwork, if any come about, it's going to be on my watch. So I was like, well, let's at least get this done that's due now. And hopefully she'll be able to come back. I don't know. You never know when you have surgery. You know, doctor saying what he's doing is minor procedure and she'll be back the next day. Hopefully. Okay. Hi Nick. I don't have any moderators in here yet. Okay. Praise God. The alarm's working. Everyone was safe. Yeah, everyone was safe, and we never did see any smoke. That was the thing. I mean, everybody got out the building, and everybody was on the grounds, chatting with each other, trying to find out what was going on. Everybody was from a different floor, but we found out in an email. They send you an email right away. Before I went to work that morning, I knew it wasn't a fire. Hi, Teresa. How are you? Teresa from Bmore, Maryland? All right, Bmore in the building. Come on in the house, Teresa. Yeah, I lived in Catonsville, right outside of Baltimore, Teresa. Yeah, come on in. Home folks in the building tonight. Nick, I'ma skip you. Carla, good evening. How are you? Thank you for the hearts and the roses. I appreciate that. Charlene is sending prayers. Come on, Charlene. We can use some prayers too. The whole world needs prayers. Baby, you can't send up enough prayers. That prayer line open. Carla speaking to everybody and Audrey speaking to Carla. Let's get into the chat. Let's get into the commentary. All right, as others come in, it's a lot of bush watchers out there. Y'all hit that like button. They tell me they done moved it. It's up in the right-hand corner now. The three little dots. Hit the three little dots, and that'll be the like button. I notice I ain't been getting very many likes because y'all probably didn't know where it was. Because if Tajista hadn't come in here and told me, I wouldn't have known where it was. I don't know why YouTube is messing with stuff, but they messing with stuff, okay? And they ain't sending nobody no notifications that they messing with stuff. I am so tired today. You work today, Tajista? Get some rest. Kick back, relax, and let's talk about this. I've got to have double knee surgery. That arthritis, no joke. It ain't. Both of mine got to be operated on, but one at a time. We're going to do the worst one first, and I'm going to have to talk to him probably this week because the right knee started hurting today. Usually when the right one starts hurting, the other one is not far behind. So I was dragging that leg today. So I'll probably make an appointment tomorrow and see if I can go up there and get it injected. I think I get 5 injections a year. I've only had 3. So I'm just trying to make it until school is out. And they last about 3 months. I'm bone on both of them. No cartilage. It's gone. You just found it, Teresa. Thank you. I appreciate that. Up in the right hand corner, the three dots, the like button should be up there. Okay. YouTube new setup weird. I don't like it. They got the everything on the side where it used to be in the bottom. And they ain't asked nobody. They just did it. Okay. I don't recall getting no notice saying, we're going to be changing this and changing that. How do you feel about it? They the boss. So, hey, it is what it is. You found it too? Okay, Carla, I appreciate that. Queen, wait a minute. Queen, you know having young kids be on demand. Oh, I don't want to think about that. This day is gone by. I made it. That's all I can say. It was rough, but I made it because I went through a divorce with her daddy, and then she got a stepdaddy, but we made it, okay? We used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because I took her out the school district that she was supposed to be going to, used girlfriend's address, a home girl from back home, got her up at 4 o'clock every morning, and she could get herself dressed by that time because I think she was fourth grade when I moved her. And getting up that road on the foggy mornings, half seeing and stuff. And then she started driving early at 15. I got a hardship license, and then I was praying. I was headed in the opposite direction, praying for her going up that road. Lord help me. I know what you're going through. Just keep calling on him, because he came through for me. She had one fender bender the whole time she was in high school, and it wasn't her fault. Some little girl hit her at the stop sign from behind, and the mama quickly ran up in that beauty shop and asked me how much it was going to cost. It was $700 to fix the bumper and something else. Back then, they wasn't replacing everything. They was actually fixing stuff. So she brought me the $700, and life went on. Thank God. Ms.V has a child that got shot at Georgia. I haven't had the opportunity to go on. She was in critical condition yesterday, but I don't know how she's doing today. Just got home at 6, and I was too busy to. Some days I'm able to, look at the news and stuff on the bus. The day wasn't one of those days. Nope. Too much going on. A lot of road construction out there. So I'm trying to help Miss Diane see the road, take care of the children, do the roll call, and mine on the paperwork we got to do after I get off. I was like, this is a lot. It was mind-boggling today. I have no idea. And the man who got shot in the leg, I don't know how he's doing either. Okay. Did I miss somebody? Go get her. Hi, Miss V. Those injections work for me. So sorry you're going through so much pain. It ain't no joke. But soon as I get the injections, I can walk out of there running. I can just get into a smooth trot. It works just that fast. Whatever he's injecting in there is keeping the bones from rubbing each other and hurting. But it got so bad one time, it was waking me up at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And no kind of way you turned or however you move, it didn't stop hurting. It just was paining, just hurting. I think the child was 5 years old that got shot. Yeah. He made a statement today. I did see that much. I don't know what he said, but he did come and have a response to the shooting yesterday. JC, welcome to Chatting with Ms. V. Hi, I'm just stopping by. I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Come on in. Join in the chat. We like it over here. People coming in and chatting with us. Charlene said, I understand. Yeah, it was a rough day. It's going to be a rough week. I'm already prepared in my head for it. Teresa says, did they tell you to lose any weight for your knees? I had gained 40 pounds, Teresa, when I was down there taking care of my brother who had kidney failure. I actually went down to help take care of him, thinking that we were going to Birmingham for a transplant, a kidney transplant. He already had his donor, which was the stepson that matched and everything. And he gave up and he lost the fight. So in that 3 months I was down there taking care of him, I gained 40 pounds running through fast food, something I hate, trying to get back to the hospital. Then when he went to hospice, just if anybody would come there to be with him, let me go run, get something to eat. So I gained 40 pounds real quick. And I got the 40 pounds off now, but it took almost a year. It took me about 10 and a half months to get those 40 pounds off because I didn't go on no diet. I just went back to eating normal and doing whatever little exercise I could do. The knees had gotten so bad I couldn't even walk anymore. Hey, Kiss the Ring, you made it in early tonight. Okay. Did you tell you to lose? And yeah, he did. He did. But I was already on that by the time I went to him because I was in Louisiana taking care of my brother. Um, and the doctor that I go to is here on Medical Center Boulevard, about 10 minutes from me. Okay, injections nor medications are working for me. They worked for about 3 months, but I can't continue doing that. I'm just gonna go on and get the knee replacements and be done with it. I'm gonna have to inject the other one probably through next year. The one other bad leg, I guess it'll be the left one. I think the right one is the worst. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna call him tomorrow and see if I can get it injected again because I got the last one just before Thanksgiving, and this is February, so they holding about 3 months, and then it wears out or wears down or whatever it does, dissolves. I don't know what it does, and then I gotta go back again. I don't want to keep taking those injections. They're not that painful. It sounds painful, and the first time around, I thought I was gonna faint, but once he deadens it with this spray that he sprays on there and he marks where he's going to inject, it's so fast. And you feel the stick and him injecting the medicine. But once he pull it out, it's not sore like a shot or anything. And I guess it's because you go in between the bones and you just poking the skin. It's not like you putting it in a muscle where it's going to really hurt. Sting is in the building. Hey, Sting. Okay, so tonight, y'all, I thought that we would talk about, nobody figured it out. Nobody told me who was the hardest working man in show business. Mr. Dynamite, the Godfather of Soul. I know y'all know who I'm talking about tonight. Come on now. James Joseph Brown, an American singer, dancer, musician, and entertainer. That's who we're going to talk about tonight for Black History. Hey, Miss Jackie Johnson, come on in. Let's talk about James Brown tonight. His music was known as funk. You got it, Queen T. You remember we talked about the other day the different genres of music? And I often wonder, what did they classify as funk? Well, when I was doing my little research on James, his music was known as funk. So y'all know what funk music is now. When did you ask that? In the very beginning, I was like, when I put the topic up there, I said, can anybody guess who we're going to talk about? Living in America. Living in America was one of his songs. Okay. So his nicknames were the hardest working man in show business, the Godfather of Soul, Mr. Dynamite, and Soul Brother #1. Say it loud. I'm Black and I'm proud. You got it, Audrey. One of his #1 songs. Audrey was in it. She was in it to win it back in the day. Yes, indeed. I went to his first concert. I think I was 7th grade. I remember I had on a wrap dress. It was orange with white piping and some white go-go boots on. And I had made it myself and made my little sister the same one. Back in the day, you had patterns, McCall and Vogue and Butterick, and I don't remember what else. But I had gotten a pattern and made our little wrap dresses, and my little sister had the go-go boots on, and I had to go, because he had the go-go dancers. So we had to dress like the go-go dancers, yeah. And my oldest brother had just gotten back from Vietnam and had joined the police force, and that was some of his overtime money working the concert. So whenever there was a concert at the Monroe Civic Center, we got in free because we went with the brother, and we were able to go back in the back and meet a lot of them. So I actually met James back in the back. My brother took me and my little sister back there. Yeah. Let's see. To Jesse, you are smiling, talking about it. You're so passionate, Queen. Yeah, I mean, that's taking me back. That's down memory lane for me. Yes, indeed. He was probably the first artist that I ever met. Tina Turner and Ike Turner used to come to Monroe all the time to a place called the Heads Palladium. And this guy had a little hotel down the street, motel, whatever. It was a motel. It wasn't a hotel because it was just one room. And they would stay at Shang's. That was the name of his motel. And when I saw their story, I'm like, they cut out a lot of that because they should have gotten some of those clips from Monroe with the old Cadillac sitting behind the Heads Palladium, which is now burned down. It burned to the ground, I think, back in the 80s. And the guy was named Herbert Head who owned it. And he's been dead years ago. But the older brothers, the one that's still alive, oh, I could bring him on here and he could tell you some stories because I wasn't old enough to go. I'm way behind them. He's 83, okay? So I would wait up at night to hear what was going on and what happened. And that's how I would get the news from the older brothers because all three of them were able to go out and, go into the clubs and stuff. But poor little me, I was too young. So we'd wait up on them, me and my mom, and they come in with the stores, and mom and I would get in the kitchen and cook breakfast, and we'd all sit at the table together and listen to what did Ike do tonight, what did Tina do tonight, and they would tell the story. Yeah. I'm 64 now, honey. I can understand these songs. Yes, indeed. Okay. I wonder, was James first man getting his hair straightened out? I thought about that this evening, Audrey. I didn't see any research, but thinking back on it, I don't remember nobody else having a relaxer in their head but James during those times. And once he got out there on stage and started sweating, baby, it would puff up and be worse looking than mine. Because he was a hard working man. I mean, he could break out in a cold sweat. That was one of his songs. So James was born. I always thought he was born in Macomb or Augusta, Georgia. No, he was born in Barnwell, South Carolina on May the 3rd, 1933. Good evening, Big Thirsty. How you doing? So we talking about James Brown tonight for Black History. James was married 3 times. His first wife was Velma Warren, and they were married from 1953. That was a year before I was born, to 1969. So that was pretty good. 1953 to 1969, and then he married Deidre Jenkins. From 1970, a year later, James said, I'm doing it again. 1970 to 1981. That's the year my sister was born. Okay. And then he married Adrienne Rodriguez. That was the last wife. Now, I don't know if y'all kept up with James like I did, but this last wife that James married, beautiful woman. She was Hispanic. From 1984 to 1996. So that was about what? About 14 years, I guess. Okay. But James and this lady had gotten into the drug scene by the time they got together. And that's when James was running up and down the road and they was picking him up on that PCP, an old drug. I don't know why James chose PCP and just not smoked him some marijuana, but that's what he did. Okay. Ms.V, you remind me so much of the owner of Sweetie Pies. I went to Sweetie Pies when I was a flight attendant. We were stationed in St. Louis for a while. That's when I was with GoJets. And I didn't actually meet Sweetie Pie, but I met her sister they had several locations, but the location we went to, her sister was in there and she wasn't in there that day, so I didn't get a chance to meet her, but they had lots of pictures and stuff on the wall. I got those pictures archived over there on Facebook too, at Sweetie Pies in St. Louis. Yeah. She's beautiful. So are you. Thank you, Audrey. I appreciate that. Hi, Marie. Welcome to Chatting with Miss V. Big Thirst is in the building. I was just trolling you, laughing. Great for your age. Okay. Thank you. Well, troll on over here and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stop the trolling and come on in the chat. And let's talk about it. Okay. Marie, how is your day? My day is lovely, Marie. I try to think of every day as being lovely, no matter what the weather, what the situation. I make it a good day because I got a choice. I can either let it be a bad day or a good day. I choose to make it a good day. Mister, everyone need to hit that subscribe and that like button. It's nice and friendly channel over here. Yes, it is. Rayleigh, hey, Rayleigh likes me to call her name. Hey, Ms. V, I saw you were live and I wanted to join. Well, come on in, baby. Take a seat. Get you something to nibble on, a snack. Kick back, relax. And let's talk about James Brown for Black History tonight. You're so amazing, and I sub because I love your channel. Woo! Thank you. Marie say, me too. Well, come on in, baby. Join the family. Just one big old happy family over here. You know how families do it. They get along, they don't get along. But we don't leave each other now. We don't do that. We express ourselves and then we say, okay, yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to let you make it, okay? You going to let me make it? I'm going to let you make it, okay? Friends for life. That's how we do it. Can you make dinner tonight? Oh no, I worked all day. I've been up since 4 o'clock. Ain't no dinner making tonight. I ate some leftovers already tonight. I'm good for the night. I tried to eat before 8 o'clock so I can keep this weight down off these bad knees. I love to watch your lives. Great. Tell a friend. Bring a friend. We don't care. The more the merrier. Was James Brown relaxing his hair or just pressed it? I don't know. I couldn't find nothing about his hair. But from the looks of it, it looked relaxed to me. You know, after having been a cosmetologist for almost 20 years, 17 years of my life, it didn't look like pressed hair. It looked more like relaxed hair to me. I think he probably went over there on that Soul's train station and got him an ultra sheen. I don't know. I don't have no clue. What's up, Chef Mac? Thank you for coming in tonight. Gabriel, hi. I'm from. I don't know what them flags are. Don't get me the line. Write it out for me. I don't know now. They ain't my country flags. So I don't know. But tell me about it. Hey, Elisa, how you doing? Welcome to Chatting with Miss V. Jay Garcia, hello, beautiful, and hello to you also. Not Tiger, you ain't. Somebody told me you had been blocked, and I went and looked today, and you were not blocked. Welcome, baby. Come on back in. We was trying to get them trolls, so my moderators was hitting them damn trolls so hard they did hit a few people they shouldn't have hit. But I'm glad to see you weren't blocked because I went to make sure you weren't today. I'm watching the whole live. Okay, come on with it. Oh, that's Canada. Well, you got a homegirl in here. Tajista's from Canada too, Gabriel. Yeah, we pick up people around the world. We're on a virtual cruise ship sailing around the world called the Fantastic Voyage. Rayleigh says, I personally like James Brown in his blue suit. And yes, indeed, he could slide across that stage with ease. But I got some more stuff I want to tell y'all about James. So we done talked about the three women he married and when he was born and where he was born and some of his little hits and everything. So let's get on with it. James wasn't a very tall man. Did y'all know that? I never really paid too much attention. I thought he was just an average height man. No, James was short. I'm 5'5". James was 5'6". It was them platform shoes back in the day had James looking like he was about 5'8" or 5'9". No. The research says he was 5'6". James wasn't a very tall man, so thank God for the platform shoes. That's what he had on. You know they wore them big old heels, clunky heels back in the day. James take them shoes off and he'd just be a little bit over my head. I never ever paid it any attention. Did y'all? Let's see. Late What is it? Oh, Izzy's back. Hey, Izzy, how you doing? Lakshmi, hello, sis. How you doing? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Tim R, am I the only guy here? No, there's plenty of guys in here. Even if you were, you ought to be feeling good about it. It's a bunch of women up in here, Tim. I know you ain't going to be running from no women now. Wait a minute. Talk to me. Miss Audrey says, Miss V, I just Googled it, and they said his hair was marcelled only. Okay, so he didn't have a relaxer to just, because I didn't find nothing. But Audrey found it. Okay, so he go sit down and let them people burn his head up. Because when I was getting mine pressed as a little girl, that's what they did. Burn my ears. I hold my ears. They burn my fingers. I was like, Lord, just let the stuff curl up like it curl up. I don't care nothing about that. You're 5'6", Izzy? Okay. Oh my God, same height. Miss V on it. Yes, I am. Okay. Did he grow up under the poverty line? No, he did not. So let's get on with it. He was one of a few that came along in his day that really didn't grow up in poverty, and I'm going to tell you why he didn't. James set the stage for dynamite live performances in American music. He was inspired by preachers in the black churches, like a lot of them were back then. If you didn't do nothing else, you went to church, okay? And you sung in church, and that's how a lot of them got started at the church choir. Brown started out singing in the black gospel quartets. As the godfather of soul, he would change gospel into secular music. He has been recognized as one of the most influential figures in the 20th century of popular music and is renowned for his vocals and his feverish dancing. Yeah, James could dance. No joke. He could do that. I ain't seen nobody yet could slide like James. Nah, he had that down, okay? Sure did. Okay, let me keep up with y'all. Good evening, Lily. Hey, Lily, how you doing? And Charlene, Azad, I'm gonna leave it right there. I love your videos. I love that you came over here to listen to my videos. Get into the chat. Let's talk. Sterling, how are you? Oh, we talking about James Brown tonight. Yes, we are. I love the picture that you got it done. You look good in front of it. Sorry, just wanted to say that. That's okay. That's okay. All right. I still got one more picture to get framed. You know, the one my girlfriend gave me. I got nowhere to put it, but I'll find somewhere. I don't know where, but I'll make room. James was a worldwide singer. He sung not only in the United States, but overseas as well. He was known as the number one force in the music industry, the biggest cat of all, the godfather of soul, the one and only James Brown. His first album lets us go down memory lane. It was Cold Sweat in August of 1967. His band was known as the Famous Flames, with the first to have to go with the Go-Go Boots and the Go-Go Dancers. 1 year later, I Can't Stand Myself When You Touch Me came out in 1968. James was on a roll. 1 month later, in April 1968, James came out with I Got a Feeling. Y'all remember any of these songs? Okay. Izzy says, are you a teacher? You should be. I taught 1 year back in the day, and I knew it wasn't for me. I came up out that classroom. I finished off a year for a lady who had gone out on maternity leave. And I think I was too young. I had just done my student teaching and came out of student teaching and finished up in February because I was on a quarter system. And then the next year, I subbed the rest of that year, and then they hired me. And I was like, oh, no, I ain't going to be able to do this. Y'all need to subscribe if you're not. She's literally the best. Thank you, Rayleigh. I remember them all. Do you, Charlene? Some of them I don't remember, but I got those. I got those. Let's keep going. His first album, Let's Go Down Memory Lane Again, was Cold Sweat. And then we go on from there. James came out with I Got a Feeling in 1968. Now, you know, when I was doing this and researching it and writing all this stuff down, I was thinking about the titles that he came up with. And I was wondering when he said, I got a feeling, what was the feeling about? That's what I was wondering. Almost every record was a hit. Get some specs on too. Y'all know I need readers. Okay. Then Brown started his solo albums around 1962. You know them well. Papa's got a brand new bag. He used the Flames less and less as he began to become a soloist. Eventually, the Flames left him in 1968. They left him. Now, they didn't say why, but they left him. James was in the development of his funk at that time, funk music. His band left him again in 1970. He pulled together another band and they left James too. I don't know why. Brown then struggled for a number of years. And then he hired the JBs, who helped to contribute to his continued success in the 70s. In 1985, Brown makes a comeback with Living in America. When 1 year later, Gravity. That song was in 1986. I do not remember Gravity. Let me see if y'all remember any of that. Let's see. Charlene says, I remember them all. I do. I love those songs, says Rayleigh. Okay. Thank you for subscribing, Izzy. I appreciate that. Okay. Reddy says, a girl. Maybe that's, well, oops, it jumped. What I Got a Feeling was all about. It could have been. It could have been because he liked the women. He had 3 wives. And he had plenty illegitimate children we're going to talk about in between and with those 3 wives. Okay. I can see him with his tight suit on and sliding across the floor with those shiny shoes, and watch out because he's known to do a split and could do it with ease and just get right on up and never stop singing. And was on beat and never was off key. The notes was just perfect. And James could sing when he wanted to sing. He really could. The song I think I like best that James did was It's a Man's World. He sung that song. Yes, indeed. Let's get on. All right. Let's see. Where are we? And I'm Real. I'm Real came out in 1988. 17 of Brown's singles, including 5 accredited to the Flames, hit the #1 on the R&B charts. Hi, Rick Berg. How are you? Oh, you know about that, huh, Rick? All right, let's talk about it. And then he recorded several more hits. The Mashed Potatoes. I remember that. And he also did the dance, the Mashed Potatoes. He brought that to the stage. Doing It to Death. I don't remember that one. Brown had other troubles in contrast to his chart success. Few of Brown's hit recordings were certified by the RIAA, partly due to the reluctance of his record label ability to pay the required fees. That's kind of sad. He only had 2 certified gold singles. Get on the Good Foot, 1972. I was graduating from high school. The Big Payback, 1974. And 1 gold album is all that was really accredited to him. Okay? Back down memory lane again, Prisoner of Love. 1963. Grits and Soul. I don't remember that one. 1964. Out of Sight, 1964. James was busy. Look at all these hits he got the same year. Showtime, 1964. And then 2 years later, he came out with his first instrumental in 1966. The Boogaloo. Didn't he sing it loud? I'm black and I'm proud. He did, Lily. He did that. And that was right after the Vietnam War. He came out with that. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I like the song Sex Machine and a Big Payback. Yep, he did the Big Payback and the Sex Machine. Then he releases his Christmas song, first time. You know, Santa Claus goes straight to the ghetto. Y'all remember that one? Then appears with a handful of soul, raw soul, real thing, cold sweat. I can't stand myself when you touch me. I got a feeling, nothing but soul. James was busy. Now I see why they called him the hardest working man in showbiz. This was the 60s when he was first getting started. James was putting them out there. Yep, and he was really, really working hard. Fatima, welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Hey, Deborah Silver, good evening. We in here talking about James Brown for Black History tonight. Then to the end of 1968, he did A Soulful Christmas. And the music that James did still stands the test of time. James got a little off when he got with the lady and they got into the PCP and the drug scene and stuff. He started coming out with all that popcorn, mama's popcorn and the other popcorn, all that popcorn stuff. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know what was wrong. But before then, from the late 50s, 60s, 70s through the 80s, James was pumping music and making money. James was the first black artist that I knew had his own plane. That's how much money he was making. He had a pilot that flew him wherever he had to go. That's how much money James made back in the day. Okay, we're going to talk about that too. And how he left his money, okay? You're going to be shocked. I'm Black and I'm Proud was a movement of Black Americans, and they were beginning to speak out and began to attend more colleges and universities, becoming entrepreneurs, and began buying homes and properties due to James bringing out the movement of I'm Black and I'm proud. You can do this. You can do that. Don't let nothing hold you back. That was the message. That was the movement, okay? James came right back same year with Getting Down to It. Y'all remember that one? Okay, let's see. Not Tiger. Did anyone see the video with James and who is that? Luciano? I ain't finna pronounce her last name. It was very nice. I think I didn't see it. Let's talk about Rosetta Tharpe. Now that's wait a minute. That's some Black history, ma'am. I'll write her down and we can talk about it. All of them Black history, baby. She'll just be another one of that Black histories, okay? James made Black history because he came out with funk music, okay? He was one of the greatest dancers out there of his time and made probably more money than any artist in his time. I don't know no other ones that had the money enough to buy a plane, but James did. I didn't think they were going to ever bury him. Me either. They kept him in that house forever because they was fighting over money. The children. He had 9 illegitimate children. And we're going to talk about that shady will that he left, okay? Because of all the confusion between the kids. That was so sad. Yes, it was. And a lot of lawsuits came up behind his estate also. How many kids did he have? 9. So let's go head on. The popcorn. It's a mother. Ain't it funky? And soul on top. That was the start of James coming forth in the 70s. It was now 1970 and James bust up with It's a New Day. Let a Man Come In. James is speaking to America through his songs and entitled the next song, Hey, America, show is funky down here. I got a feeling that's when James might have gotten locked up when he's talking about show is funky down here. Hot pants were in all over the TV screens. The Dukes of Hazzard, the lady who played on there, she wore the hot pants every week. I forgot what night. I want to say they came on at the end of the week, like a Thursday night or a Friday night. So we're now into the 70s with James. Okay, it's around 1972. There it is. And Get On, The Good Foot, came out around that time. Black Caesar, Slaughter's Big Ripoff. I've never heard of that one. That was 1973. And The Big Payback, along with Hell and Reality. 1975, James declares Sex Machine. Same year, Everybody's Down doing the Hustle and Dead on the Double Bump. I don't remember that dance, but I remember doing the hustle. A new year comes in, January the 1st, 1976, and James releases Hot, H-O-T, by the summer. James is telling somebody to get up off of it, get up off of that thing. One of his daughters could be his identical twin, the one that had her little, probably 5 minutes of fame when she was dancing at the funeral. She looked just like him. Hair and attitude. Don't know if she can sing. I don't either. Okay, let's get on down here. N words for Xavier, you gotta go. We're not talking about that. Anytime you come in and you're talking about a subject we're not talking about, you must go. See ya. Go to another channel where they might be talking about that. Hey, Jim, Louis Armstrong also was one heck of a talented black leader. Yes, and we might also touch on him because, I mean, we don't have to stop because it's Black History Month. I think the history has not been told to us, and if somebody wants to take the time to research the history, then we can talk about them the rest of the year, the rest of next year, the rest of our lives if we really want to. Hi, Annalyn, how are you? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Okay, so now we're into a brand new decade. An older but more mature James comes to the scene in early spring. I think James has marriage on his mind as he sings Take a Look at These Cakes on an original Disco Man, People, Soul Syndrome, and declares nonstop in his songs by 1983. For 3 years, we didn't hear from James, but just before school began, James is working hard again, and he releases another record in September of 1986. Another 2 years go by, and we don't hear anything from James. And up popped James with Gravity in 1988. James disappears again, but snaps back I'm Real in the summer of 1991. Sorry, Ms.V, I have to go to bed, but thanks for giving it. You can always watch the replay, Rayleigh. Ms.V, did James get a star in New York? Not to my knowledge. I'm going to have to look that up. I didn't see anything on those stars, Audrey. Let me see, did I miss anything else? Okay. Let's move on. I think James has fallen or is falling in love by March 9th, 1993. Love Overdue became a #1 hit. 5 years pass and James is back on the scene again. A much heavier James, a much older James than we're used to seeing, and he's hollering. Universal James was the name of the song in 1993. After 5 years, James sings I'm Back and releases a long-awaited Christmas album in 1999. The next stop was It, and it was released in 2002. 15 albums, 10 CDs, 20 all-time greatest hits. When James began his recording, his music was on vinyl records, and his career ended with a CD. Okay, let me see. Hi, Brayden, how you doing? God loves you also. James Brown, last words. I'm going away tonight. In the early morning hours of Christmas in 2006, Soul Master James Brown passed away from congestive heart failure. His longtime manager, Charles Bobbitt, was there by his side, and he reported his final words that he uttered. I'm going away tonight, before taking his last labored breath. James rose to his prominence in the mid-1950s as a lead singer of the Famous Flames, an R&B group founded by Bobby Byrd. James had 9 children. There was a few other people claiming that they had children for Brown, but Brown never claimed them. Okay? His children were fighting about what Brown had left them, and he left them relatively little money to his children. James was estimated to be worth $100 million at the time of his death. His estate was just recently settled. Brown passed in 2006, but his will was extremely vague. James was a writer of almost every song he recorded. He was a concert superstar, a singer, and recording artist. James was 73 years of age at the time of his death, 1933 through 2006. Officially, Brown died of a heart attack and fluid in his lungs in a hospital in Atlanta in the early hours on Christmas Day of 2006. What an awful Christmas for the Brown family. Make sure. James Brown was Michael Jackson's mentor. Exactly. That's very true. In 2010, LaRonda Pettit, one of 9 illegitimate children, Brown is thought to have fathered outside of his 3 marriages, alleged his body had been stolen from a Georgia funeral home to prevent an autopsy from being performed. Now, I don't know why she did this or why she didn't want an autopsy performed on him. Maybe it was religious purposes. I don't know. But she did that. In his will, Brown left the vast majority of his fortune in a trust. His personal effects to some of his children, $2 million for his grandchildren's education, and nothing to Heine. The estate was beset by dozens of lawsuits, and as the years went by, there was lawsuit after lawsuit. Primarily, Wave Music owns the rights to his music, a company that specializes in marketing estates and song catalogs. Jim, what I found was large group of black men of the 60s and 70s sang many very sexual songs. Tragedy began killing many top-notch artists. Drugs and alcohol has ruined and killed many. Yeah, they got into that. The music career is not a very easy career. It's a lot of competition in it. A lot of theft in it, because you got to be very careful when you book in these venues and stuff that you get your money up front. I read that Aretha Franklin was one. She always carried that purse with her. She had her money in that purse, and she wanted cash money, and she wanted her money up front before she ever sang one note. Brown also turned down some big money. We'll talk about that, because he wanted his money up front also, and they didn't give it to him, and he did not perform. You aren't able to visit the gravesite, but at first stop in Augusta, you should be able to go to the Museum of History. James Brown also played for the soldiers at the Air Force Base in South Vietnam in June 1968. James was supposed to play at Woodstock in 1999, but refused to perform unless he was paid in full prior to performing, but he did perform at a festival for the people. James lost a daughter recently, and her name was Venetia Brown. She passed away in 2018 at the age of 53. Cause of death was complications of pneumonia. Hold on, let me get back up here and catch these. Charlene said that is so sad. Benet, how are you? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Thank you. I appreciate that. James Brown says Jim and Michael Jackson were worth super millions. Yeah, 100 million James was worth. And I've forgotten how much Michael Jackson was actually worth more dead than alive. When they sold all of his estate, he was worth plenty money. His children should never ever have to worry about anything in life. At the age of 16, Brown was convicted of robbery and sent to a juvenile detention. So this tells you a little bit about his childhood. He formed a gospel quartet, and every 4 years, his cellmates, did a recording while in prison. Brown's father left him in the care of his aunt, who ran a brothel. He spent much of his time alone in his childhood, and he learned at a very early age to fend for himself. As a child, Brown found solace in music. James used his soul. He wasn't hurting for money because she ran a brothel house, but he had some childhood issues because his father had left him with this aunt. I read that he took James to the aunt to keep for a few days and never came back to get him. James used his music to break the boundaries of racial segregation that enveloped the United States in the 1950s. Both blacks and whites became engrossed in the new wave of his music. This has been the James Brown story. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation of his life and his contributions to Black history. And let me see if y'all have anything y'all have to say. I'm coming up on my hour, so that fit just perfect. Jim, and problems and billions. Yeah, I don't know about billions, but he had plenty of millions. Yep. And I don't know exactly why he didn't leave a lot to his children. Maybe he felt like he had already done enough for them while, he was out there hustling and recording songs. I don't know. But that was the big fight. The children were fighting for his money. Let me, good night to you also, Deborah. Hold on. Going to lay my granddaughter down. Have a pleasant night, you and your granddaughter, Deborah. Brown walked with God and danced with the devil. I believe he struggled as so many do when raised in an environment like he was. Yeah, they didn't really have good environments. And they knew they had to get out there and make it some kind of way. And most of them had very good voices. And those that did, they went for it. Charlene says, very informative, Ms.V. Do you think he was on drugs when he passed, as some alluded? I wouldn't think so. I would have thought that James probably had cleaned up his act by then, because the drug scene started back in the late 80s, early 90s, when he kind of kept leaving us and coming back 5 years later. And then this last wife, passed away. She had a surgery and did not tell the people that she was on PCP. It was a weight loss surgery. And she died. The anesthesia and the PCP, it didn't mix. Beautiful woman. The last wife. She was Hispanic. And I think that kind of turned James' life back around to where he needed to be at that point. That's just me and my opinion. I don't know that to be a fact. But I would think that at that age and having lost her and knowing why, he probably changed. Ms.V, thank you for reaching out about our fellow Americans. You're welcome, Jim. Nala, how are you? You're so beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Amy, my to just this, who is this? Look at Myra. Hey, Myra. Um, and chat, thanks everyone for your prayers. Lost both of my aunts. Yes, we prayed for you the other night and sent some prayer hands up for you, Myra. Glad you could make a live tonight. Noah, did he shoot anyone? Never read anything about him shooting anyone. The only time they mentioned anything about him was when he was very young and he did a robbery and went to prison. Charlotte, how you doing tonight? Okay. All right. So this has been, hey, Andrea Hernandez. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we've basically wrapped up James Brown and his life story and his contribution to America. And basically, he was the voice of the 70s after the Vietnam War ended for Black Americans. I'm Black and I'm proud. Probably would be his biggest legacy to date. Um, Emma's world, your eyes are beautiful. Emma, I just had cataract surgery and I have lens in my eyes. And I didn't realize until last week the lens he put in my eyes are colored. My father actually had green eyes, but none of his children have them. They're starting to show up in the next generation of grandchildren. But my eyes are now green like my father's because they have green lens in them. When you get cataract surgeries now, they can put something in like a contact where you can see better without glasses. So the only thing I have to have now are readers, and it's a 2.0 just for reading, nothing else. But I didn't realize until last week, so I can't wait to go back to him. And he did what he wanted to do. I did not pay for these lenses. I told my chat, if I had to pay $5,000 per eye to have lens in there, then I just have to get the cataracts removed, go get me some glasses. But he put them in anyway, and they are greenish blue. But thank you. They're not mine from birth. That's something that the doctor did. And I guess it's because I've been going to him for so long, and he had done another surgery where the lids were kind of drooping and he lifted them back up. And I guess he said, well, the woman had already spent enough money with me, so I'm just going to do it. Tajista says, I'm Black and I'm proud. So we're going to leave on that note. You are a blessing. Remember that. Thank you, Nala. Y'all hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe. Tell a friend. We're moving right along to 5K. We up about 4.3 and we fixing to get there and real soon. It has been fun chatting with y'all tonight. Hit the like button, subscribe, become a member, and remember, I love you much. Y'all have a great night. See you tomorrow.